Hey guys, welcome to this year's edition of Black Friday Pickups, where I show off games that I picked up this year at Black Friday. And this time I've got 11 games with me, 10 PlayStation 4 games and one 3DS game. So without much ado, let's get started on the first game, which is Persona Q2 New Cinema Labyrinth. I'm gonna be honest, I never thought Persona Q2 would be a game that'd see the light of day because I thought Persona Q1 would be a one and done project by Atlas, and then that was it. But no, with the a sequel like this, yeah, this is pretty nice. It's got the party members of Persona 3, 4, and 5 in here. And I know a lot of people I remember seeing a lot of people were upset that Persona 1 and 2 characters weren't going to make it, and yeah, I kind of do want to see a Persona Q type game with the Persona 1 and 2 cast, brought back in, because it's been a while since Atlas. Here, let me fix my color. It's been a while since Atlas has ever paid them any mind. But Persona Q2 keeps the Etrian Odyssey type gameplay where the player is required to, as they explore a dungeon, they're required to draw out their own map where they mark down waypoints, anything of interest, hazards, certain enemy spots, enemy placement, stuff like that. So it's really Etrian Odyssey and Persona Q are really unique in that they use that kind of system. And Persona Q also uses a system in which it takes the press turn system of Persona. I messed it up in my head. Persona Q1, where if a character, if all characters, or I forgot how it goes, but if a character exploits an enemy's weakness, then they can use magic. They have unlimited MP for a short time. I forgot how many characters had to get it. I think every single one in the party had to do it. But yeah, I'm loving this. I'm really loving this game. I'm having a hard time right now choosing who should be in my party because oh man, the five character limit just really makes you care more about who you want and who you don't want in your party. And that's why I love both the Persona Q games, and I really wish to see more games, not well, just like Persona Q. So now we're going to move into PlayStation 4 territory with our first game, which is kind of a controversial game that I bought. It's Anthem. Now I got this game for $5 during the Black Friday sale. As a matter of fact, I think I got it for $4 because I had the little GameStop discount. So yeah, Anthem is a third-person shooter, but it's a third-person shooter in the same vein as Destiny, where you go on raids and you take on enemies. Where you take on enemies throughout a dungeon, maybe or maybe not you'll solve a puzzle. Then at the end of the you fight some enemies, and then at the end of the dungeon, you fight one big boss. So yeah, there's not much for me to go off of. It's a fun game, yes, but I really wish this title had a single player offline mode because once these servers go, like, I'm not gonna lie, this game is pretty fun, but like once these servers go out, it's done, like forever. Yeah, I'm looking at the back of the box and it says online play required. So if these servers go out, then yeah, man, you're done. Next game is Days Gone. This game was developed by Bend Studio, which is a Sony studio in Bend, Oregon, hence the name. Days Gone is a zombie game about a guy named Deacon St. John who rides around on his motorcycle looking for his dead lover. And the game's story is more about self-discovery and loss, whilst fending off zombies. Now, you also have to do repairs on your bikes as well. As a matter of fact, your bike is also how you manage your inventory. You can use a variety of weapons. Assault rifles, pistols, melee weapons. Nothing new. So yeah, it's your typical zombie game. The story's pretty alright, and so is the gameplay. The gameplay is pretty awesome. So yeah, if you're looking for a zombie game to play this year, please pick up Days Gone. Let's see. Next game is Dragon Quest Heroes. Oh man, I had to look at the cover. Dragon Quest Heroes: The World Trees Woe and the Blight Below. This game was developed by Koei Tecmo at a time when it was the early 2010s when Koei Tecmo was buying up properties and making their own, Dynasty Warriors type game. And I think Hyrule Warriors was released prior to 1 year prior to this game. So yeah, all I have to say is that it's just Dragon Quest, except now you've got now it's a Muso game, like Dynasty Warriors. So yeah. And speaking of Dragon Quest, we have Dragon Quest XI, Echoes of an Elusive Age. Now, Dragon Quest XI is a game that's Dragon Quest XI is directed towards both fans of old school and modern RPGs. It retains all the it's more of a self-aware RPG in that it has all the cliches of every RPG from the 80s or 90s, albeit Final Fantasy stuff like that. Um, so Dragon Quest XI, it's your typical JRPG. It's turn-based. It also has this mode where you can move around the main character and perform an attack. I'd say it's a pseudo action RPG mode. I'm not really a big fan of that game mode. I mean, of that gameplay style. I would just stick with the more traditional turn-based affairs of JRPGs. But if you have the Switch version, I mean, if you have a Switch, then I recommend picking up the Switch version because it's a more enhanced release, and I don't know if the PlayStation 4 is going to receive its own enhanced release of Dragon Quest XI S anytime soon. In the Switch version, I know that you can play in 16-bit mode, like it's the 90s all over again. So if you have a Switch and you want to get Dragon Quest XI, I highly recommend you get Dragon Quest XI S. Now, next up is Far Cry New Dawn. Now, I'm going to be honest, I have not touched this title yet because in order for me to play this game, it actually spoils the ending of Far Cry 5, and as a matter of fact, I have it right over here. I have not finished this game yet. And fun fact, Far Cry 5 was featured in last year's Black Friday pickup, so yeah, I haven't finished the story of Far Cry 5, but I remember watching the trailers, and I saw that it was about these two girls that took over Hope County, or wherever the game takes place, and yeah, that was about it. So yeah, it's not much to say on that. Next game is Just Cause 4. Now, Just Cause 4 takes place in South America, and Rico Rodriguez is now fighting I forgot the name of the main villains, but he's fighting these guys. But this game is oddly enough focused more on weather systems, with tornadoes, natural disasters, stuff like that. Um, oh, what else did I want to say about this? This game also, see, look, I'm doing this in one take, okay? But this game also, it's a typical Just Cause affair. There's one big warlord. You got to kickstart this revolution. You got your grappling hook. You got to parachute and stuff like that. I really like how more refined this game is because now. The previous games didn't have the over-the-shoulder camera where you hold down L2 and fire like other third-person shooters. But this is the first game, to my knowledge, in the franchise that does, because I've only played Just Cause 2, 3, and, well, this game. I have not played Just Cause 1 ever. I plan on buying it one day, but yeah. Oh, look. So, next game is Lego Star Wars The Force Awakens. This game was released sometime soon after The Force Awakens came out in 2015. So, Lego Star Wars The Force Awakens, it follows the plot. It's like any other it's like any other Lego movie game, Lego games based off of movies like Harry Potter or The Lord of the Rings. So yeah, this game follows the story of The Force Awakens, albeit giving it having some creative freedoms over what happened when, and it also has it in a more humorous tones in keeping with the lighthearted fun of Lego games. So yeah, not much to say about this. It's your average Lego game, it's pretty fun. Next game up is Prey. So this game is a reboot of Prey, which came out on, I forgot what consoles it came out on, but I remember seeing gameplay footage of a long time ago. This game takes place in the future where you play as a lab scientist named Morgan Yu, who he is hired as a bounty hunter, but in exchange he has to lose his memories. And I haven't played much of this, but it's a really kick-ass first-person shooter. I'll give it that. Alright, we're just about to wrap up here. Next game on our list is Resident Evil 2. I've been trying to get this game throughout the entire year, man. And I'm glad this game was $18 when I got it. So Resident Evil 2 is a remake of the original Resident Evil 2, which came out in 1998. Yeah, it came out in 1998. So yeah, this game. So for those who don't know, Resident Evil 2 is about it takes place from two perspectives. As a matter of fact, I actually own. Before I get on, I actually own Resident. Well, one disc of Resident Evil 2 on my Dreamcast, which is Claire's Route. But anyway, anyway, what I was saying was that Resident Evil 2 is the story involving Leon Kennedy on his first day, who has the first day on the job as a police officer. And let me tell you, that's a crappy way to start your first day as an officer, man. With all these zombies around Raccoon City, and Claire Redfield is trying to find her missing brother Chris Redfield, who makes an appearance in other Resident Evil games, and he's most Chris is also most famous for that one moment in Resident Evil 5 where he punched an entire boulder with his bare hands. Like, he knocked the whole thing over. So yeah, Resident Evil 2 is an amazing survival horror game, and it's also going to be at the at this year's Game Awards, which I will be watching live. I'm not going to do a live stream of it because trying to get together a live stream of the Game Awards, like, mainly because I have to deal with copyright and because, you know, I'll be live streaming and I got to provide commentary, over this 4-hour event. I've already trying to provide commentary for E3 was enough, but like trying to provide commentary for something like the Game Awards, oh no. So the final game in this lineup is Valkyria Chronicles 4. So Valkyria Chronicles 4 is the long-awaited sequel to Valkyria Chronicles 3, which never saw the light of day here in the US, but there has been a full fan translation online for the PSP version of Valkyria Chronicles 3, in case you want to look for it. So Valkyria Chronicles 4, it takes place during the Second European War, which is their universe's version of World War II. It utilizes a system. Hold on, what was it? Yeah, it utilizes a system called Blitz, where in the other Valkyria Chronicles games, Blitz is a system that blends tactical turn-based RPGs with real-time third-person shooters. So, for example, you can actually move your soldier. You can move your soldier around the battlefield, but they have a limited amount of steps, kind of like how in other tactical RPGs, like say Fire Emblem or what was I've lost the name of it, but the name escapes me. But still, it's like any other tactical RPGs where you have a limited amount of moves. So, and the way combat is dealt with is your character has to plant their feet in the ground like it's Resident Evil, and you have to take aim at whatever you're shooting at. And there's also damage dealt depending on which body part you hit. If you shoot someone in the head, then you're guaranteed a critical hit. And if you shoot someone else, like say the torso or somewhere else, then you do average amount of damage. So yeah, Valkyria Chronicles is a pretty slept-on tactical RPG franchise that I feel like Valkyria Chronicles deserves more attention. So that wraps it up for this year's Black Friday pickups. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know in the comments. What games you bought for Black Friday. So yeah, this has been another installment of Black Friday Pickups 2019. I'll be seeing you guys in the next video.